My next guest returns to action on February 21st when Cage Titans takes over the MGM Music Hall at Fenway Park for Cage Titans Revolution. You've seen them everywhere. Karate Combat, LFA, Cage Titans, almost Cage Warriors, besides that was bullshit. He's Joe Giannetti, Skeletor, in the flesh. How's it going,
What's going on? How you doing? How you been?
Been going. It's been a long day. I love Cage Titans cards. I do not, I forget how many fights get put on a Cage Titans card.
It's a lot.
I thought it was a good idea to interview everybody. And forgetting that I tend to get approval or acceptance from most people that I reach out to. So, been busy. It's going to be great. But the most important part is in 2 weeks, essentially.
Yes, sir.
We're both going to be hanging out at Fenway Park. I'll be enjoying myself, and you'll be warming up, and then enjoy yourself later. First of all, let's start there. Like, how fucking cool was it to be fighting at Fenway Park?
It's unreal, man. You know, like if you've seen me, post tough or just even on social media, like I'm always like, I'm gonna fight for the UFC at TD Garden. I'm gonna fight for the UFC at TD Garden. Obviously, that's not what I'm doing right now, but it's right there. It's like, and I told Cage Titans that I was like, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be my number one fight in it. Like, it's not MMA, and it's still gonna be my number one favorite fight. I'm gonna be at Fenway Park fighting in Boston. My friends and family are gonna be there. It's gonna be a historic night for combat sports.
Yeah, I was talking to a few other people in the card. I was like, I don't think a lot of people can fully understand, like, the feeling of being on this card. Like, you have to be from the area. Like, you were born in Boston. Like, this is like you're fighting at home. Like, Plymouth is second home. But like,
exactly.
This is literally there. And like, I was trying to like resonate with a few other people, and I was like, I can't relate it to anything. Like, I can't give an example because like, even if I go to like the major city here, like, there's nothing in Philly that is like Fenway.
Yeah.
There's nothing in Baltimore that's like Fenway. You can go to a hotel and look out and see the O Stadium, and I've done it. It's cool as shit. So like, when I saw the video so far, like everyone reacting to like coming out will be, I think, the warm up room, the training rooms, and like you're literally like at Fenway Park.
Right, Fenway Park. Yeah. So what Cage Titans told us too was the way that it works is, I don't know, building wise, whatever, but Fenway owns that room. So it's not even necessarily like it's in MGM, but it's in Fenway, like it's Fenway's. So they had to go through Fenway about getting that room and stuff, and Mike Palvier goes above and beyond for Cage Titans and all of his fighters. And as a kid who, like every other kid from the area, like you grow up playing baseball and every little league has like the Yankees and the Red Sox, and you're just like fingers crossed, like hopefully I get put on the Red Sox this year. And like, I'm going to play at Fenway Park one day. Well, and then, I pitched sidearm and my elbow used to always hurt. And I was like, yeah, maybe baseball is not for me. Now I do a sport where everything hurts. But I was always like, yeah, I guess, I'll just stick to being in the bleachers at Fenway Park. And now I'm going to be right above the bleachers because I'm going to be fighting there. So it means a lot. And it's just crazy where this fighting journey has taken me.
Yeah, I know like Nick and the team have done a great job so far documenting the journey.
Yeah.
So I think like, I don't think anyone understands like MMA is not supposed to be at this venue.
No.
Like, it's not like Dropkick Murphys are playing a week later.
Yes, exactly.
Like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that fits. Yeah. But we're making ourselves fit. We're jamming a puzzle piece from a different set right in the middle and we're making it work.
And like, that's what I keep trying to explain to everyone. Cause like, first of all, like, again, not from the area. I drove 8.5 hours up for Fight Fest. The hall is worth an 8.5 hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever you think is the greatest venue you've been to, I don't care if you're talking about the T-Mobile Arena. That hall is something else.
It's insane, man. And nobody gets it.
This is just the next level. Like, if this can get 10% of what the whole atmosphere is, I'm flying up for it.
We'll blow the roof off. It's going to be a crazy night. I think a lot of people too. I think some people are going to look at this and be like, "Oh man, it's a Cage Titans in Boston. Like, I don't feel like driving into Boston." And I think the next day, those people are going to be banging their head against the wall, going, "Why didn't I go? Why didn't I go?"
Yeah, I did the guess the opposite. I was like, "Oh, it's in Boston." Like I don't know. I guess from an outside tourist view, I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's like so much more money. It's this, that, and the other." But I'm also like, it's also a shitload easier to get to.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I mean, I could pick you pick a mode of transportation, I can get there.
Yep.
But again, just looking at it, like, there's also one of those things too. Is like, I'm looking at this as Cage Titan's spear. Could this be done
100%.
again? Possibly.
Will it ever
Like,
be the same? No.
no, like, that's why I was at the first Fight Fest. I was at, I guess, the first Fight Fest that happened.
Yes.
Because the last one caused an entire world to shut down. And this one, I'm like, I kind of have to be there. Like, and like, I don't get how. This is like I always emphasize, like, you're an MMA fan or you're a UFC fan. There is like a slight difference there. And this is one of the ones where, like, this is like, Mike in the team, like, in the team as well, but like, Mike always seems to be like, what can I do better next time? I don't know what can be that outdo this.
I have no idea. And that's the crazy part. Not that he's always trying to one up, but that when he does one up, you're like, all right, that's it. Like, that's as high as we're going. And then 2 months is the next show, and he finds something. He's like, all right, let's do this, you know? On top of being at Fenway Park, he got a bigger cage. And I was like, and I already told him, I was like, listen to me. I was like, you have an actual big cage? I will fight any lightweight on the planet. I go, now that I don't have to worry about these guys, I don't care if they want to just take me down and lay on me. I don't care anymore. If I have an actual UFC size cage, I will fight any lightweight on the planet. Put me in for the next card after February. And he was like, all right.
Again, I mentioned it before recording. I said I wasn't going to talk about Fight Fest, but that was part of the problem. Like, you stepped 2 feet in. You and Dakota were on top of each other.
Exactly.
And like, it wasn't the best fight.
No, it was terrible. I wouldn't watch it. I haven't watched it, and I was in there.
Like, I talked to people when I was leaving there. How was it? I was like, I came to the show. Let me fix that. I came to the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was fun. Like, I got to finally see you fight in person. I got to see Dakota fight in person. I'm still surprised that got him to the PFL. Like, okay, like, I'm gonna lean on the win streak, because like that fight, like, I left saying he needed more, and the next fight for you will be like, you're getting that one back. Like, I mean, we can look at that from like when you went your LFA return, for example. Like, it wasn't I think you had 2 prior and they didn't go too well, and you went in and you correct it, you write the story, and one of your best performances. But now you are taking away the grappling, so there's no way Sean can lay on top of you. Bigger cage, smaller cage, doesn't really matter. We're boxing this time.
Yes, sir.
What are your views on that? Especially since it is a boxing rule, so it's not like a dirty boxing with elbows. It's boxing.
It's boxing, professional boxing. You know, I was really excited that Mike and all Cage Titans was actually really excited about this once I brought it up, because at first it was like, you know, they were doing all the Ring Titan stuff, and I was like, hey, let's do some boxing. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. And then they kept posting stuff, and I was like, hey, like, let's do some boxing. And they were like, you'd actually box? And I was like, yes. I was like, it can be another MMA fighter, it can be a professional boxer, but let's do professional boxing, professional rule set, everything. I want the whole thing. And they were like, we'll try and make it happen. And then, you know, the ball just started rolling, and they were like, we're going to try and find you somebody to box. I was like, all right, bet, give me a day. And we were planning for December 13th. And then I got poked in the eye at LFA, and that kind of put that to the side. And then my eye doctor cleared me way sooner than I thought I would. You know, the ER nurse and the eye doctor said you actually got super lucky. And, you know, I wanted to get right back in there. And obviously I wouldn't get right back into an MMA fight a few weeks later. So I told them, I was like, hey, that boxing fight, December 13th, like, find somebody. And they were just like, you know, it's hard. We got to make sure we have the right ref, the right judges, all that stuff. So it's not going to happen in December. So I kind of gave up on it. I was like, all right, cool. Like, let's go back to MMA. And then Mike texted me back, and he was like, but what about boxing in February? And I was like, that's kind of a long wait. And he was like, but what if it's at MGM Fenway? And I was like, I'm in. I was like, oh, that's all you needed to say. I'm in there.
Yeah, like, it's just, this entire card has just been amazing. I mean, from a fan point of view, we are getting MMA. I think there's Muay Thai on there. There's boxing on there. There's the grappling. Firefighters versus police on there. Like, this is like a 1 championship card.
Yes.
In Boston. And that, you know, I forgot about the LFA iBook.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sure you did it, because like, now that you said that, as soon as you said it, I was like, I remember that one, because I remember, like, as soon as it happened, I was like, this fight's over.
Yeah, it was.
There's certain reactions to an eye poke. The two worst ones I've seen, or the three worst ones I've seen, are like Bilal Muhammad versus like
Yep.
Leon Edwards. Yours, and then like even more recently was Nick Maximoff out in A1
Yep.
Combat. With him, same thing. He's back next month.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
swore
crazy.
he was. I was like, you're out until like early summer because like why risk it?
Yeah,
But
100%.
yeah, doctors are cool. I mean, and it's cool to hear that you actually were cleared that early too, because like
Yeah, I went right to the eye doctor. You know, we were at the ER that night. They checked it for like pressure leaks and any cuts or anything, and I was good. Gave me some ointment, which I didn't know was a thing. That was miserable. And then they were like, go to your eye doctor in a couple days just to double check everything. They can look at it more extensively. And I brought everything from the ER to the eye doctor, and he was like, "It's healing phenomenally. I'm so glad you went to the ER. I'm glad they gave you the ointment because it's essentially Neosporin for your eye. Like, just don't get it infected." And he was like, "I'm sure you're not feeling this way, but you got very lucky. Any more towards the center of your eye, and would be having a different conversation outside of fighting." And I was like, "Well, doc, I don't feel lucky at all, but I'm gonna take your word for it." And yeah, right back to it.
and like I said, in boxing, new rule set, not a new opponent. We were supposed to see this fight late last year. Most people know what was going on. I don't think it's ever actually been fully explained because there's also that situation of like, what can you say, what can't you say?
Exactly.
I think even now, like, I think you're able to say.
Yeah, so I said it before. I posted like a YouTube video on it. It was just super simple, you know. I was supposed to be on. Well, I don't want to say I was supposed to be, but I was in the works to be on the Ultimate Fighter again. I did my first round of interviews. They said they were gonna call me back and get back in touch. You know, and the first time I did tough, it was kind of like you don't know you're on until you know you're on. But after they were like, we're gonna call you back, and then they emailed me and they were like, all right, we're gonna set up another interview. I was like, oh, this is more than I got last time, and I was on the show last time, so I'm in there. And I was like, you know, I told Cage Titans like, hey, I'm more than likely going to be on the Ultimate Fighter. I was like, I can't tell anybody, obviously. Make sure you tell Lally so he doesn't just think I'm pulling out and can't tell him why, you know. And he decided to be extra vague about why I pulled out. And then obviously his fans were upset, and everybody was like, "Why'd you pull out? Why'd you pull out?" And I was really hoping that if I just said, "Guys, I promise you it's a good reason. I literally cannot tell you the reason yet." I was hoping that people's curiosity would just leave them at, "Oh, I can't wait to find out. Okay, we'll wait." And then if I had a dumb reason, they'd be like, "Nah, you're soft." You know what I mean? But no, it was just kind of like mob mentality, and everybody was just dragging me through. And then Lally kind of jumped in on it, and he was like attacking my name and my like my status as a man. He's like, "This guy's a coward," and this, that, and the other thing. And I was just like, man, like man to man and fighter to fighter, like when your opponent gets that opportunity, you can maybe he was salty about it because he didn't try out. But I don't know. It's like you just let that go. When I got on the Ultimate Fighter the first time, I was supposed to fight Dan Dubuque at Reality Fighting. Same exact thing. I got on and I contacted Reality and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be on the Ultimate Fighter. I can't tell anybody, but can you tell Dan that like I'm not gonna make it to the fight?" And I think he messaged me on Instagram. He messaged me somewhere, and I didn't see it actually till I got back from the show. He was like, "Hey man, like I get it. I would do the same thing. Like good luck out there." And so I thought it was going to be like that all over again, and it wasn't. It was the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's not a one-time story either. Like we've seen it. Like before we hit record, I said it. Chris Montino was like on the show, and then wasn't.
Yeah, it's not as clear cut as people think. They think you try out, they say yes or no, and then you fly out and you just do your thing. It's like you said, people can fly out there with a bunch of yeses, and they're like, "I actually see you later."
I mean, I've even seen literally a entire roster change in 2 days.
Yeah. I've got a couple of friends that people don't even know they were out in Vegas and they got sent home because I remember being like, "Dude, like, good for you. You're on tough." And they're asking me, like, "What should I look out for?" And I was like, "Enjoy it." I was like, every season you see the guys crying that it's miserable. They miss their wife and all this stuff. Your wife knows what you signed up for. You know what you signed up for. Enjoy it. It's a fighter's paradise. So I'm like giving these guys like all this advice because I loved being an Ultimate Fighter. And then a week later they were at practice and I was like, "The hell are you doing here?" It's crazy.
Yeah. Like, so it's all that, but we are back to Charlotte Lally. How do you think this, like, does this benefit either one of you more being boxing?
It benefits him. You know, I think it benefits me as in like I get to fight at Fenway Park and I get to have fun. I've always wanted to box, so it's just like you know, I've told everybody it's like a side quest. So it's more of a fun thing for me. As far as my MMA career, does it do anything? I don't think so. Could it do something for his MMA career in a small scheme? Yes. You know, he's just been pretty irrelevant. He's been very adamant about how like he only wants to fight me. When I pulled out the first time, there was a line of guys that wanted to fight him, and he continued to drag my name and say, I trained so hard, my fans paid hard-earned money, and nobody could take the fight now. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, if fighting the 55er coming up in weight is what tickles your fancy, I'll be your Huckleberry. I got no problem. Weight's never really been too much of an issue with me. Let me rephrase that. I haven't missed weight before. Going up in weight has never been an issue with me. A fight's a fight at the end of the day, and it's one of those things where it's fun for me. I get to box. Win or lose, I'm still gonna be Skeletor, and I'm still gonna go back to MMA, and I'm gonna chase my dream of being in the UFC.
And after this one, like, let's call this a side quest. You do a lot of fucking side quests.
Oh, you should see me playing video games. It takes me like years to finish a game because I do all the little side quests. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, because again, like we've seen you at Karate Combat. I assume you got paid on like a lot of other people. But like outside of that, like what do you think for the rest of the year? Like, Cage Titans, for example, they tend to do a show every other month. There's not for one tick, I don't think we actually have a public calendar right now. Where last year we did.
Yeah.
What are your goals for the year? Like, I'm assuming probably get that LFA fight back. Maybe not the same opponent because Edward Scissorhands is not a good opponent. But like, what are your goals for the year?
To be very active. And I've said it the last few years, and everybody just thinks like I'm crazy. Like when I was an amateur, I had my first 4 amateur fights in 3 months. When I first went pro, I had my first 6 pro fights in like 5 months. I like being super active. I feel like when I'm active and I have fights coming up all the time, it keeps me razor sharp. It keeps me locked in. I start to enjoy the process a lot more instead of like that downtime. And I just want to be really active this year. My son's due in April. And then, I want to squeeze in a fight before then. I want to get a fight in a little bit after that, and then just keep rattling on fights. You know what I mean? Just being super, super active, and and I'm cool to bounce around. It was because it's my luck. Like the day after I agreed to the boxing fight, Fury FC actually contacted me, and they were like, "Hey, February 21st, we have a card." And I was like, "Of course you do." And I was like, "Hey, I super appreciative of the opportunity. I just agreed to a boxing fight." I was like, but after that, I would love to fight for you guys. Another great organization. So I'm cool with Cage Titans, LFA, Fury FC. I would go anywhere. I just want to fight. I want to be active, and I want to beat these best guys.
Yeah, especially you haven't felt it yet. I think your life will change come April.
I need that dad strength. It's all I keep hearing about.
Yeah, I mean, I think very few people I think decline after that because it's like you're no longer fighting for your career is still there because obviously the better you advance and the better it pays, the farther you go. But like it's now, I mean, like I have a buddy who he had his first kid. And he's 36 at the best point of his career.
Yeah,
and usually you think 36 out of go for 145, like you're getting ready to go. I would say open a gym, but you also just open the gym too.
Yeah, no side quest.
So like that's like another thing too, where he's like, no, he's at the point where like this is the best he's been in his entire career, and the only thing that's changed outside of like focusing on his own career has been his son.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it. It's something cool. I've said to a couple people already. It's like by the time that he's of age to like kind of understand fighting and like, I'm assuming YouTube will still be around, look on YouTube and like look up my name. He's going to look back and watch all my fights. And he's going to see like kind of what, he's going to see from being with me around at home, but he's going to see what kind of man I am. He's going to see clips of me training hard. He's going to see me in the gym training hard. And that already, without him even being here yet, has already just top priority, like all these times when people are like, you got to win your fight like this, and like it'll show the UFC. You got to knock this guy out, choke that guy out, and it's like, man, I'm just gonna win. I'm gonna finish fights because I like to finish fights, and I just want my son to look back with his friends one day when they're staying up late playing Call of Duty, like, yeah, my dad's kind of a bad man.
So, February 21st, MGM Music Hall at Fenway. You versus Sean Lowley. That's the mic to you. I know there's a bunch of sponsors. I'll let you kind of give the last word, and we'll wrap it up, and then we'll see each other in 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. It's first and foremost, it was a little bit different this time doing like the tickets because now it's going through Ticketmaster. There's like a ticket tree link, all that stuff. So it's just everybody else that was like ready to like, hey, can I grab a ticket? Can I grab a ticket? And I was like, I know you hate it, but we got to go through Ticketmaster. It means the world to me that everybody was like jumping on it, and people that are using my code, like a couple of times before, especially like with the LFA fight, some people have bought tickets, like, hey man, I got tickets, and they forget to use the code. And like, it is what it is. It's just the way life works. But the people that remember and they make it a point and they buy t-shirts and things like that, that stuff means the world to me. You know, I don't make $1 million off t-shirts. I make a couple bucks here and there, but it's cool to see people representing me, representing my team. So just thank you to everybody that does all that first and foremost. You know, it's awesome. And now I have for sponsors, like, you know, we have the local Whitman firefighters. Their local union jumped on as sponsors, which is another thing that I really attest to my gym. You know, GMA has just been like, it's been such an honor for me to see like the community welcome us. So just thank you to the Whitman firefighters. Thank you to the town of Whitman that welcomed Giannetti Martial Arts. New England Cartel, you know, they've been with me in my last few fight camps, and karate combat included. You know, they were like, oh, you want to do some karate rounds? I was like, nah, just beat me up. Let's do MMA. Same thing. On the level collectors, you can come get your Pokemon cards, everything like that over in Stoughton. Martial Strength, my strength and conditioning coach. Yeah, man, just thank you to everybody. I'm just super appreciative. And thank you to Cage Titans and Mike Pulvier for making this happen. And, you know, I might not be on the mound like I thought I'd be when I was like 8 years old, but I'm at Fenway Park. So it's all the same to me at this point.
Awesome. February 21st, MGM Music Hall at Fenway Park.
Yep.
If you can't be there for some reason, say you live in Pennsylvania, you can check it out on Spectation Sports. And it's going to be worth it because, I mean, the last time I said a card would be worth it, they had a boxing ring there and they broke down and pulled out an MMA cage afterwards. Cage Titans and the team pull some random shit out sometimes. So tune in, watch it, be there in person. That's the skill, and we'll catch up at the fights.
Appreciate you.